Podcasting to the universe.
From the top of Mount Wack.
Live with no pants.
Here's Zach D-Wack.
Greetings, red-blooded, verified Earth people, and those with no check mark. It is me, the always dapper podcast babbler, your daddy-o cockblot from the radio, and the monkey on the mic, here running that semi-professionally trained tongue of mine. I am Zachary Ernesto Wackalina III. Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to those of you from Minnesota to Sarasota, Montreal to Nepal, and all around the world. This is the often secluded, never diluted, always wacky, never tacky, hot rockin' flamethrowing D-Wack in the morning show. Live from the low-rent, sleazy, and measly Raymond Jam and Nut Hut Studios at the D-Wack Shack Podcasting Megaplex at Peachtree Industrial here in FEMA Region Number 4, somewhere on the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia.
This is the sound of the morning. This is where you should be.
Live out of Studio A today. Last time I checked, today is Friday, June the 6th, 2025. This is show 123.
Brace yourself. You're about to be funked.
Let's look at that birthday list. Actor Paul Giamatti. He's 58.
You know what you are, Stern? You know what you are? You're the Antichrist.
What? Yes, that's what you are. You are the motherfucking Antichrist.
Best known in my world for playing Pig Vomit from WNBC. In the real world and from Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie, and the movie Sideways. It's the one about the wine. Actor Max Costello turns 58 as well. You might know him from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Doogie Howser, MD, and The Sopranos. Actor Jason Isaacs from the Harry Potter films. He's in Star Trek Discovery and the OA. He's 62. Comedian Colin Quinn from Saturday Night Live is 66. Animal rights activist Carol Baskin, CEO of Big Cat Rescue, featured in Netflix's Tiger King. She's 64. Guitarist Stevie Vai is 65. Tennis player Bjorn Borg is 69. Actress Sandra Bernhard turned 70. Actor Harvey Fierstein is 73.
Honey, I'm so happy.
Freddy Krueger actor Robert Englund is 78.
What's with kids today, huh? No respect.
And rhythm and blues and rock and roll singer Gary U.S. Bonds is 86 years young today.
And I'm so glad that school is out. I could have sing and shout.
Happy birthday! Another day closer to being dead.
Also born on this day, Nathan Hale in 1755. And remembering Jean Harlow, she passed away on this day in 1937. June Holiday passed in 1965. A&R man Dick Rowe passed on this day from diabetes. Rowe became famous for not signing the Beatles to Decca Records and made the classic quote, "Nobody cares about guitar groups anymore." He did, however, sign the Rolling Stones. He passed away in 1986. And Drazen Petrovic, former international and NBA shooting guard, remembered as one of the greatest players in the history of European basketball. He was named the Croatian Sportsman of the Year in consecutive years in 1985 and 1986. He passed in 1993. And Christopher Lee, best known in my world as playing Count Dooku.
I've been looking forward to this. Twice the pride, double the fall.
He passed in 2015, and wrestler Iron Sheik passed in 2023. More from the Wayback Machine. Movies released on this day. In 1985, we had The Goonies. Christina Applegate and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, released in 1991.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Sean Connery's The Rock, released in 1996.
Okay, I've got some bad news and some really bad news.
Face Off, released in 1997. The Purge, released this day in 2013. And 2024 saw the release of Bad Boys Ride or Die. Let's look at this day in music. In
1962,
the first Beatles recording session took place at Abbey Road Studios. The group recorded 4 tracks, one of which was Love Me Do. The 4 musicians received payments for the session of around what equals to $12.07 each. In
1965,
the Rolling Stones released the single I Can't Get No Satisfaction in the US, which went on to give the band their first number 1. In the UK, where it was released in August of 1966, the song initially played on only pirate radio stations because its lyrics were considered too sexually suggestive. In
1969,
Elton John released his debut album Empty Sky in the UK, released in January of 1975 in the US. Skyline Pigeon is the best-known song on the album. In
1971,
John and Yoko jammed live on stage with Frank Zappa at the Fillmore East in New York. Some of these recordings were released in 1972 on John Lennon's third post-Beatles album, Sometime in New York City. On this day in
1974,
RCA Records released I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton, the second single from Parton's 13th solo studio album, Jolene. Recorded on June 13th, 1973, the singer wrote the song for her one-time partner and mentor, Porter Wagoner. In
1979,
Def Leppard played at the Crooks Workman's Club in Sheffield. The gig was reviewed in UK music paper Sounds and led to a recording contract with Phonogram Records. In
1982,
Tom Petty, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Bob Dylan, Stevie Wonder, Stevie Nicks, and Jackson Browne all appeared at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, to a crowd of around 85,000 fans. The show was partly broadcast on ABC TV's Entertainment Tonight program on the same day. In
1987,
Michael Jackson announced that he was breaking all ties with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Jackson had been raised a Jehovah's Witness and would don disguises and go door to door with the Watchtower message in cities where he was performing. Also in
1987,
Whitney Houston had her second UK number 1 single with I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me. It reached number 1 in a dozen other countries and won a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance in 1988. Sting released Fields of Gold in
1993.
You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold.
In
2005,
John Bonham was voted at number 1 in Classic Rock Magazine's 50 Greatest Drummers in Rock, listing Moby Dick as Bonham's defining moment. During live sets with Zeppelin, his drum solo, Moby Dick, would often last for half an hour and regularly feature the use of his bare hands. In
2017,
the site of the 1969 Woodstock Music Festival was officially recognized for its place in history when Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that Bethel Woods Center of the Arts had been placed on the National Register of Historic Places.
It happened on this day as if you cared.
Let's look at today in history. In 1833, Andrew Jackson became the first U.S. president to ride a train. In 1844, the Young Men's Christian Association, better known as the YMCA, was founded in London. In 1933, the first drive-in theater opened in Camden, New Jersey. In 1944, it's World War II and D-Day. 150 Allied expeditionary forces land in Normandy, France. On this day in 1990, U.S. District Court Judge Jose Gonzalez ruled that the rap album As Nasty As They Wanna Be by 2 Live Crew violated Florida's obscenity law.
Are you serious?
He declared that the predominant subject matter of the record was directed to the dirty thoughts and the loins, not the intellect and the mind. In 2012, a solar plane called the Solar Impulse landed in Morocco after completing the world's first intercontinental flight powered by the sun. In 2018, LeBron James eclipsed Michael Jordan's record of 109 for most 30-point games in NBA playoff history. And also in 2018, a special pedestrian lane was introduced just for fubbers, slow-walking smartphone users in Xi'an, China.
Face it, if it hasn't happened, it's not gonna happen.
Hey guys, don't just lie around in bed. Wake up and start your morning with a little Master Bacon.
Yeah.
Master Bacon is huge, meaty, plump, and full of juice. Master Bacon is sure to get you going. And the best part is you can handle it yourself when the wife is gone.
All right.
And Master Bacon is made with real meat-type products and real-life grease for that slippery feel. So remember, there's nothing like Master Bacon in the morning. Get a grip on breakfast with Master Bacon.
Good morning. It's Friday. Now, your boss says Friday is the last day of the work week, but your brain says Friday is the first day of the weekend. So who are you going to listen to? That's what I thought. Yahoo! It's Friday!
Zach D-Wack in the morning, here to start your day.
Special events for today. It is Applesauce Cake Day.
Yay!
Atheist Pride and Hug a Atheist Day. It's D-Day, Drive-In Movie Day.
Let's go.
Donut Day, Eyewear Day, Fish and Ship Day.
It would explain a great many things.
Gun Violence Awareness Day. It's Higher Education Day and Hunger Awareness Day. And on June 6th, we celebrate National Yo-Yo Day. Can you do all these with your yo-yo? The sleeper, walk the dog, shooting the moon, around the world, or hop the fence? Today's number for the day is 25. That's the percentage of pet owners who say they've tested their pet's food.
I'm innocent.
Yeah. No. Here's some news. Well, summer's here, and the boss and his wife are working together on their vacation plan. Last year they didn't, and they accidentally went to the same place.
Oh God, people exaggerate so much here.
China has a limit on TV reality shows. Broadcasters are restricted on how many shows they can produce in a year and how frequently they can be shown. And no show is allowed whose title includes the words Housewives or Kardashians. Police in Italy arrested the getaway driver for a gang of bank robbers and were shocked to find out he was 77 years old. Yeah, he would have gotten away, except it was 4 o'clock and he couldn't resist stopping for dinner at a Golden Corral.
Ow! Let's go, baby!
A study shows that a daytime nap boosts the brain's learning power. A nap is also a nice way to break up a workday of TikTok.
I am man.
A study found that babies in dog-owning families may be healthier. Yeah, you'd be healthier too if you had some competition during games of fetch.
I am McLovin.
Well, in a new survey of adults, 42% of people love their first name, and 31% of people just like it, and 19% of people are neutral on it. 4% of adults dislike their first name and 2% outright hate theirs.
I'm Groot.
Women were slightly more likely to dislike their names, around 8% dislike or hate.
She's just different. She's special. She's honest.
Well, this week, the Goodyear blimp Pilgrim is flying over Mogadore, Ohio, where its original hangar was located. The blimp, there are 4 of them currently, is celebrating 100 years. The blimp has participated in over 2,500 events and has given more than 500,000 rides.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it may not be as good for reducing the waistline as going to the gym or resisting that ice cream sundae, but researchers have found that 10 to 15 minutes of laughter can burn off the number of calories found in a medium-sized square piece of chocolate. Researchers at Vanderbilt University recruited 45 pairs of friends, shut them in a room decorated like a cheap hotel, played them comedy clips on a TV, and measured how many calories burned when they laughed. Those who were laughing burned about 20% more calories. If that's the case, I'd like to hire someone to tickle me for a few months so I could look good in my swim trunks by Labor Day.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
In an incredible stroke of luck, a married couple from Auburn Hills, Michigan, marked their wedding anniversary with a $2 million lottery win. The couple, who prefer to remain anonymous, was celebrating their special day when they decided to purchase a scratch-off ticket.
Well, that hit the spot.
With their newfound wealth, the couple plans to buy a house, invest, and set aside funds for their children's college education.
That's awesome.
Well, socks, a new tie, a new barbecue grill, time on the golf course. What is it that dads most frequently want for Father's Day?
Suffering succotash.
According to a new survey, 56% of dads prefer to spend Father's Day with their children or grandchildren. Sharing a meal at home is the second most popular choice, followed by going out to eat or drinks. Older dads, like 65 plus, especially value connection, with 51% wanting a phone call or visit and 25% not wanting any gifts at all.
Easy as pie.
Younger dads, around 18 to 34, are more interested in material gifts like clothing, tools, gift cards, holidays, and experiences. From a spending perspective, the National Retail Federation forecasts record-breaking Father's Day spending at $24 billion this year, with an average spend per person at around $199.
How you doing?
Father's Day this year is Sunday, June 15th.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Want to ignite your bedroom life with your spouse? A survey says 66% of runners have more good times in the bedroom when they run with their partner.
Maybe.
In a troubling case of wildlife crime, a Virginia man has pleaded guilty to killing over 20 bald eagles and hawks, primarily red-shouldered and red-tailed species. The investigation began during the 23-24 waterfowl season after reports surfaced of traps and poison targeting the majestic birds. The suspect, an avid duck hunter, had constructed a waterfowl impoundment on his property to attract ducks. He admitted to killing the raptors because they were preying on the ducks he was luring in. Authorities discovered a trap used to ensnare birds of prey and a juvenile bald eagle carcass on his property. The man's guilty plea led to charges under the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act, which criminalizes the taking or possession of protected birds. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 1 day in jail, 2 years of probation, and nearly $10,000 in fines.
Ka-ching!
Well, a study found that the average person walks about 900 miles a year. Another study found that we drink an average of 22 gallons of beer a year. That means, on average, we get about 41 miles a gallon. Not bad.
See you in the promised land. Arrivederci, baby.
A new book out titled Earthly Materials Journeys Through Our Body's Emissions, Excretions, and Disintegrations examines the science of our excretory system. According to the book, 7,716 pounds of feces will pass out your body, assuming that you live 75 years, and you'll pass 10,000 gallons of urine.
Ew.
TMI.
I gotta remember that one.
In a tragic and rare incident, a 71-year-old woman from Texas lost her life after contracting a brain-eating amoeba. The case was highlighted in a recent report by the CDC, which revealed that the woman developed severe neurological symptoms just days after using a nasal irrigation device with contaminated tap water from an RV at a campground. The woman sought medical help after experiencing fever, headaches, and altered mental status 4 days post-usage of the RV's tap water for nasal irrigation. Despite efforts to treat her, she succumbed to the infection 8 days later, prompting an investigation by the Texas Department of State Health Services and the CDC. To safely use neti pot, always use distilled, sterile, or previously boiled and cooled water. Never tap water. Then clean out and dry your neti pot thoroughly after each use to prevent bacterial contamination and replace plastic pots every few months. Have you ever wondered if your cat truly recognizes you? A fascinating new study from Tokyo University of Agriculture reveals that cats can distinguish between their owners and strangers using only their sense of smell. The findings show that while your feline friend can identify you by scent alone, they often prefer to sniff out unfamiliar people, spending significantly more time investigating strangers than their owners. The researchers conducted an intriguing smell test involving 30 domestic cats. Each cat was presented with 3 scent samples, their owner's scent, a stranger's scent, and a blank control with no scent at all. The results were clear. Cats devoted much more time to sniffing the unfamiliar scents. This behavior suggests that they already have a comprehensive mental scent profile of their owners. Well, here we go. I've searched the interwebs far and wide, collected the dumbest news stories I can find, and I'm ready to share them with you. This is Stupid News.
We gotta wrap this program to bring you something really, really, really stupid.
A mom in Brazil, terrified of dentists, used super glue to stick her teeth back in her mouth. Eventually, the toxic chemicals in the glue meant she lost most of the bone supporting her teeth and her upper jaw, and she was forced to spend her life savings on treatment.
Stupid!
A British Airways flight attendant was arrested after he was discovered dancing naked in a bathroom on a British Airways flight from San Francisco to London. During the dinner service, shortly after takeoff, the crew noticed that the attendant had gone missing. A search of the aircraft led them to one of the business class lavatories where they found him performing his impromptu dance. Concerned about his well-being, the crew suspected he might be under the influence of some mind-altering drugs. After being relieved of his duties, the attendant was dressed in first-class pajamas and seated in an empty first-class seat for the remainder of the flight. The crew alerted authorities, leading to the police meeting the flight and the attendant being wheeled away for medical attention and subsequent arrest.
Don't be stupid.
Police in Venezuela raided a secret warehouse and seized 2,500 rolls of toilet paper, 400 diapers, and 7,000 liters of fruit juice. Okay, and what's the problem here? Early Sunday morning in Newark, New Jersey, a thief was arrested for attempting to steal a tire from a vehicle owned by a police officer. The off-duty officer spotted the man tampering with his vehicle and approached him. A struggle ensued between the officer and the would-be thief. Fortunately, a nearby police patrol vehicle was flagged down, leading to arrest of the suspect. We overwhelmingly see potholes as a nuisance, but one pothole in India turned out to be a lifesaver for an 80-year-old man. The man, who had been experiencing health issues, was pronounced dead by doctors and was being transported for his last rites when the ambulance he was in hit a deep pothole. But when the ambulance arrived, the man's grandson noticed movement in his hand. After checking for a pulse, the ambulance driver was urged to rush the old man to the nearest hospital, where doctors confirmed that he was indeed alive. Doctors say he remains in critical condition, but is breathing on his own. In an amusing incident in Colorado, Jefferson County deputies were called to assist with an unexpected visitor, a bobcat that had made itself at home inside a residence. The homeowner led the officers to a shelf behind a plant where the cat was napping, prompting a series of humorous attempts to coax it out. Trying to encourage the bobcat to come out, a deputy suggesting using a laser pointer, reasoning that cats like lasers, so why not, right? But another officer quickly pointed out it's not a normal cat. Eventually, the bobcat decided to exit at its own pace, strolling right out the back door.
Don't be ridiculous.
An elderly woman in Germany called police complaining that she couldn't sleep because her doorbell was always ringing. Officers sent to investigate the cause quickly tracked down the culprit. Turns out it was an ant nest next to the doorbell. The insects had built such a big home that the nest pressed the switching elements together, keeping the bell ringing. In Austria, a woman was standing on a chair on a balcony when she lost her balance and toppled over the edge. Luckily, instead of hitting the ground 30 feet below, she landed in an extra-large window box on a lower floor. A pet zebra that recently found a home in Tennessee escaped and caused a traffic problem on Interstate 24. Authorities reported that the zebra, which arrived at its new residence on Friday, managed to break free less than 24 hours later. Witnesses saw the zebra darting through traffic, leading deputies to close the interstate in both directions in an attempt to ensure safety. The creature managed to evade capture and slipped into a nearby wooded area. As of Monday evening, authorities were still on the lookout for the zebra, which remains unaccounted for.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
In the Czech Republic, an 88-year-old woman was mistakenly declared dead by a coroner, only to awaken while funeral preparations were underway. The alarming event began when her partner noticed she was unresponsive and immediately called the emergency services. Following protocol, a coroner arrived and declared her legally dead, prompting funeral workers to prepare her body for burial. However, as they were working, the workers realized she was still alive. The woman was rushed to a nearby hospital where she is reported to be recovering well. I got no words. A 26-year-old off-duty deputy with the Volusia County, Florida Sheriff's Office has resigned following her arrest on Saturday night for riding a motorcycle with a counterfeit license plate. Authorities discovered Erica Muzzy's motorcycle had a plate reading Chase 'em 3. The trouble began shortly after 11 p.m. when deputies noticed Muzzy's tag was flipping up and not visible. She was pulled over and then taken into custody, facing charges for possession of a counterfeit license plate.
It's just so dumb.
It's so dumb. It's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
The Memphis Police Department is searching for two men who were caught on camera leaving a home on bikes with a stolen vanity, faucet, and countertop. What? That's crazy. No arrests have been made. A guy in Brazil was upset that a friend had been arrested by police, so he walked into the station house to inquire about what was going on. This would not have been such a bad idea, except for one thing. The guy was wanted by the cops on robbery charges, and his wanted picture was posted right there in the station house for everyone to see.
The longer I talk, it's going to get dumber.
Here's a tip for would-be gasoline thieves. When stealing gas in the dark, don't use a lighter to see how you're doing.
Duh.
Police in Germany say that's what a man did while he was siphoning gas from a dump truck at a business. The man was transferring the fuel from the truck to a gas can when he used a lighter to see how full his container had become. That sparked a fire that caused minor burns on his face and hands. The fire spread to a nearby forklift, which was destroyed. And that, my friends, is stupid news.
Wake up, Domi.
Here's your highly scientific and completely infallible and often inscrutable and guaranteed horoscope for today.
All right, and now it's time for the world-famous, one and only Noboloni D-Wack in the Morning Horriblescopes for Friday, June the 6th, 2025. Operation Zodiac Overlord commences. If today is your birthday, you are a Gemini. Your duality is showing. Soldier, 1 minute you're rallying the troops with charm, the next you're interrogating them like it's a Cold War tribunal. Your charisma is disarming. Unfortunately, so is your attention span.
Let's flip a coin. Heads, you get out of bed. Tails,
You also get out of bed.
Cancer Moonchild, you're the emotional medic of the zodiac, but today you're handing out tissues like MREs. Just because it's D-Day themed doesn't mean everyone wants to cry through a 4-hour war documentary. Channel that drama into a stirring monologue at lunch.
Timing's perfect. I just clogged the toilet.
Leo, you're parachuting into conversations yelling, "I'm here to save the day," even if no one asked. Your D-Day reenactment today will include dramatic speeches, unnecessary explosions, and at least one moment where you refer to yourself as Commander Fabulous.
Mr. Sexy.
Virgo, you've prepared for this like it's the Normandy landing. Detailed lists, precise timing, and 5 contingency plans. Unfortunately, no one else got your 34-slide PowerPoint on how to win the office war. Relax, General Control Freakson.
I just know you're gonna fail.
Libra, you're trying to negotiate peace over pastries during a full-on zodiac invasion. Your indecision will reach new heights when asked which beach you'd land on. Omaha or maybe Gold, but Juneau seems nice. Choose a side, preferably the one with snacks.
I am so excited.
Scorpio, you're operating behind enemy lines with a smirk and a secret. Today, you'll successfully manipulate 4 conversations, 3 group chats, and possibly a vending machine. No one knows your endgame, and that's just how you like it. Codename Silent Assassin.
Hello?
Sagittarius, you're treating this like a historical pub crawl. Your mission, liberate every happy hour in town. Your enthusiastic storytelling about D-Day facts no one asked for will confuse friends and baristas alike. Godspeed, Captain Buzzkill.
Freedom, baby.
Capricorn, you're organizing a company-wide reenactment and have already assigned ranks, uniforms, and motivational posters. Everyone else thinks it's weird, but deep down they know you're the only reason anything gets done. Also, you brought charts.
Free your mind.
Aquarius, you're broadcasting pirate radio from your basement bunker, ranting about alternate D-Day timelines where pigeons won the war. Friends will either call you a visionary or a danger to national coffee consumption. The revolution will not be refrigerated.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pisces, you've written a D-Day musical starring interpretive dance, a fog machine, and a haunted baguette. While historically inaccurate, it is emotional stirring. Bonus, you can cry at your own curtain call. Twice.
Oh yeah, I'm getting in them biscuits.
Aries, you're charging ahead like a one-person Normandy invasion, without a plan. Today, your bravery will be unmatched, and so will your confusion. Try not to storm the beach of HR with your bold new ideas before reading the room, or the Geneva Convention.
Oh, wow.
And finally, Taurus, you're digging in deeper than a foxhole full of stubbornness. You refuse to budge on your snack preferences or your Netflix queue. It's not resistance, it's strategic laziness. General Eisenhower did not win D-Day by napping through the action, Taurus. And remember to storm the day like it's 1944, but maybe with fewer tanks and more snacks. And those are your official D-Wack in the Morning Horriblescopes. Remember?
Don't leave home without them.
You've been listening to the Always First, Never Last podcast with me, your Doomsday host, the incredible, edible Mr. Zach Wackalina. You can connect with me at ZachDeWack.com. That's ZachDeWack.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, MySpace, Blue Sky, the Comic Strip, the Yellow Pages, Telepathy, Western Union, or call or text 984-DeWack1. That's 984-329-2251.
Friday doesn't suck.
Like the show, follow us or subscribe, and please share this show with your friends. Available to hear on my host, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and all other podcasting apps, or at ZachDeWack.com, if that's easier for you. Thank you to all the awesome wackos, weirdos, reverts, preverts, dingbats, and jelloheads anonymous for any and all listens you can give. It means a lot. I'm out of here like Vladimir until next time, and there will be a next time. Don't forget me. I won't forget you. I am Zach DeWack saying if I'm lying, I'm dying. Grits ain't groceries. Eggs ain't poultry. And Mona Lisa was a man. I'll be back Monday for another edition of the D-Wack in the Morning Show. I will talk to you then. Same whack time, same whack channel. Whack out.
D-Wack in the morning, D-Wack in the morning, in the Nut Hut in the morning, from the Wack Shack in the morning, ZachDeWack.com.
Hey, I'm George Zipper, here to tell you about my new online discount brokerage. It's called Zipper Z-Trade, and you're guaranteed to make money. You're probably sick of getting gouged by all them full-service brokers and all them other fly-by-night online brokers, huh? Yeah, well, at Zipper Z-Trade, you're in and out, bing, bang, boom, just like that. Stocks, junk bonds, futures, options, puts, calls, hey, you name it, I'll buy it, and what do I care? And at Zipper Z-Trade, you save big on the fake, baby. You know, the juice, the rub, the grease. That's right, there ain't no commission at Z-Trade. Hey, don't worry how I do it. So look me up, George Zipper Z-Trade, at www.mob.com.something. Hey, better yet, just send me a check. And remember, if you don't make money, I quit.
Not legal in most states.
Made in